Now feel free to disagree with me, but I think that unboxings are not the most interesting form of content. I tend not to do them, and so imagine my surprise today when I found myself getting a hold of this box, getting ready to start building the models, and I thought, you know what? Peter might want to see what's inside it. So in my attempt to make an unboxing a little bit more interesting, I thought I'd move the camera around a little bit, I'd get down on my knees, and I'd show you exactly what you can get in the Conquest 2-player starter set. Except I'm not going to stop on my knees because I'm getting old and my knees are hurting and I'm tired, and I'm just going to go and sit in the chair if that's all right with you. Now, this is Conquest 2-player starter set, and it is obviously to be used primarily, I suppose, with Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, but there's no reason why you couldn't also use these miniatures in Conquest First Blood as well, although there will be a First Blood starter set coming out a little later this year. Now, this isn't a sponsored video. I didn't get sent this for free. I paid for this with my very hard-earned cash, and it arrived yesterday. They've been out of stock for a little bit, but I've been looking forward to this coming. So, without further ado, let's open the box and see what's inside. Now, to start with, it is absolutely jam-packed right to the top of stuff. Now, inside it, there are lots and lots of sprues, extra bits of kind of sort of command upgrades. There's bases here. There are a couple of resin miniatures, one each for the 2 leader models, and these are exclusive sculpts that you can get inside this 2-player starter set. Of course, you can still get these models sort of on their own, just sort of to be bought separately, but these are exclusive sculpts of them. The kind of the models that you can get will be different versions of these. I'm going to just keep pulling stuff out of here because there's absolute mountains of this stuff. There are more sprues. There are some more sprues. There are some more sprues. And yeah, there's some more sprues in there. I think at the bottom I can see some more sprues. There might even be more plastic. I think there's a couple of bits here in the bottom which are more plastic as well. There's more bases. What's at the bottom here? More bags of bases as well. Bases coming out my ears. So we'll get onto the models in a minute. But what we've also got is some interesting stuff. We've got the Conquest version 2 as well, I should add as well. Because the game went to version 2 recently, everything that's in here is version 2 compliant as well. So there is the start playing scenarios. And inside this book, we'll give you a little bit of background about the different armies, or certainly the 2 leaders. There are 3 scenarios which basically give you game modes to build up to like bigger scale games. It also gives you a lot of stats as well inside there as well, although all of the stats and army building stuff is all free online. We might come to that later. We also have a little book here, just giving you some interesting information about the nodes half. It tells you a little bit about what you get inside, how you can kind of expand from there as well. There is a similar little thing as well for the city-state side. And then there is also some instructions, which is nice to see as well, on how to build your miniatures. We also get, really, really interestingly, version 2 rulebook, but not just one, 2 rulebooks. Why would you get 2 rulebooks? Well, because it's a 2-player starter set. So you decide to you buy this, you decide to build them up and get a friend to play. You can go, here's a book for you as well. Help yourself, read up on that, and then when we play, you'll know how to play. And it's like, just keep that book, my friend. Why not keep that book? And then you buy yourself some models, and then we can play it until our hearts are content. So yeah, 2 full rule books, all of the rules, all of the army building stuff that you need to know on how to play the game. You also get the cards as well inside. So anybody that doesn't know how to play Conquest, it doesn't work in like the way maybe Kings of War works in terms of I move all of my models and then you move all of yours. It's a alternating activation kind of a game, but it's a little bit different in terms of the fact that you have something called a command deck. And in that command deck, there is a unit card for each of the different units you have on the board. And this is the kind of thing that they look like. And what you do is you basically build that deck up into the order you want your units to activate, and your opponent does the same. So when it's your turn, you take the top card off that deck, and that's the unit that you activate. So when it comes to actually playing the game, there's none of this analysis paralysis of what shall I move, what shall I do. You've had to decide that at the start of your turn, which I think is quite interesting. So yeah, there's a heck of a lot of stuff in this. It's probably time we got a little bit more in-depth with the miniatures now. So onto the minis themselves, the thing you're probably buying this set for. Now, as I said before, there is a lot of sprues inside this box. However, very, very handily, what Parabellum have done on the back of the instruction book is they have shown you exactly what each of the sprues are for, so it's very easy to sort them off into piles so you know exactly what you're working with. Now let's start with the city-states, because they're the ones that I'm the most interested in. They're the army that I'm going to be doing for my first Conquest army. And they are very much Greek-inspired, so they have some very Greek-sounding names, so I'm bound to butcher some pronunciations. I've got the sheet here to help me out, but yeah, please apologise any Greek people watching this. So we'll start with the leader of the warband, or the leader of the army, and that is the Polemarch. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's read like Pole March, but I think it's pronounced Polemarch. Yeah, and he is the leader. Now, I believe in Greek it means like war leader or leader of war, so that would explain why. This is a resin model. It comes in, just looking at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 pieces, but looks really, really crisp. I'll get some closer up shots of this as well. You don't want to see me just waving around little plastic bags. But yeah, it looks really nice. And as I said before, this is an exclusive sculpt that you can only get inside this 2-player starter set. You can buy a Polemarch model to represent the leader of your warband on the Parabellum website, but it won't be this sculpt. This only comes in the 2-player starter set. That's the first one. So you get 6 of these rather large sprues, you get 6 of these slightly smaller ones, and then you get 2 of these even smaller ones. And these allow you to make 2 different units up. This is like a multi-option sprue. And you can either make the hoplites, which are the kind of like the shielded infantry, or you can make the phalangites, which are essentially like the kind of the ones with the spears. You could make 2 units of the same ones, like 2 units of phalangites or 2 units of hoplites. But I'd probably, for nice variety, for starting your army, I'd probably recommend building 1 unit of each. And when I'm saying 1 unit of each, that is a total of 3 bases. And now these 3 stands, I should say. Now these stands contain 4 models each, and you basically rank them up side by side. So you'll get plenty of enough stands for these, and then each model gets its own individual base that then just slots inside of here. Now originally with Conquest, when a model died, you would take the individual model off, very much like you would used to do in old Warhammer Fantasy. These days, the whole stand stays in place until all 4 models have taken wounds, and once they're all dead, then that stand comes away now. So that's changed slightly for Conquest version 2. What you also get as well is there are 2 of these rather larger sprues, which are slightly different, and then there is this 3rd smaller sprue, and this allows you to build either one of 2 different types of units, both being Minotaurs, but you can either have Minotaur Thyrians, or you can have Minotaur Haspists. Told you I'd probably butcher these names. One is much more kind of close combat and attacky. One is a lot more kind of armored and up to the job of taking a hit. So it's entirely up to you which way you want to build them, but you would build all 3 of those models the same way. Now what I would say about these sprues is these are the brand new, absolute latest army for Conquest. The sprues are absolutely beautiful quality, really, really sharp detail. I would say some of the older Conquest sprues now, the first like sort of releases, probably look a little bit poorer in comparison to these newer ones. I wouldn't say they were bad by any stretch, but I think just seeing these ones here just show how far that Parabellum have really come. These newer sprues have made in Poland on them, where some of the older sprues actually have made in the USA. So there's obviously been a switch in manufacturing at some point, and very much like the Mantic sprues as well, which are made in the same factory in Poland, there's a real kick on in quality since both companies switched over to them. So yeah, that's a total of 28 models for the city-states. This little handy guide here gives you some information on maybe where's the next way to go, how to sort of build out your army. how to expand it up into a bigger points level. But yeah, this is a very handy sort of insert for any brand new players like me. Now, next up, we have the Nodes half of the 2-player starter set. Nodes are very much kind of Viking-esque in their sort of style. And what you get in here is, see, you get 1, 2, 3 large sprues here, and these will make you a Mountain Jotnar. Mountain Jotnar is the big kind of giant that you'll have seen kind of carrying the tree, and he comes, just to give you some scale of reference, he comes on a base this size compared to a base of this size for 4 of your kind of unit infantry. So it just gives you an idea just in the size of the scales. The Minotaurs also, by the way, I forgot to mention, come on this kind of middle-sized base. So the stand is the same size as a 4 base, but the Minotaurs come on these bigger ones, bigger individual ones. Anyway, back to the nodes. So yeah, the 3 big sprues there to build the Mountain Jotnar. We also get 6 sprues here, 3 of these slightly bigger ones, 3 of these slightly smaller ones. And these again are brand new, new sprues, new models. And these are the Bow Chosen. So these are a bunch of archers. They can only be built one way, so there's no way to get these wrong. There's no choices to make or anything like that. But again, very, very high quality. Obviously, I'll get some close-up shots and things as well, so you can see them. But yeah, very, very nice. I'll be honest, when I was looking for the army that I wanted to build for Conquest for my first army, I was kind of torn as well between nodes and city-states. So it was interesting to see that they were both in the starter box, and I thought I'll maybe decide which one I want to build when I get started. But city-states have been the one I'll go with, but I can totally see myself painting these up as well and having a second army to maybe teach somebody else how to play. You also get 6 sprues, 5 of them, I believe. Yep, is that right? No, all 6 are the same, sorry. So 6 sprues here, which essentially build the Huskarls. And you also get a small sprue here, which allows you to build a command model as well for the Huskarls. These are the ones that are sort of have printed on them made in the USA and are from a different manufacturer. These ones are still really nice quality. I wouldn't say they were exactly sort of the same quality as these newer ones, but nothing to kind of sort of write home about, nothing to be sort of upset about with these ones. Still very nice, still nice and tightly packed sprues, plenty of stuff on them, with some nice weapons on there as well. And I'm looking forward to building those up. And then the last one we have is the Resin Leader model that I mentioned about as well, called a Conquest. I think I pronounced that one right. Probably not. But yeah, this one comes in about 1, 2, 3 pieces. Nice clean sculpt again. There will be a little bit of cleanup on little bits of flash from the edges of the mold and things. And remember to kind of clean up your resin miniatures as well before you glue them. There's sometimes a bit of mold release left on them. But yeah, again, same kind of thing as well for the nodes, which basically shows you here what you get inside the box, and then maybe some routes to kind of growing your army to help you out. And again, as I mentioned before, all of the instructions in here. Now let's take a quick look at the cards and see how you scan them to find out the stats. So when it comes to these cards with the QR codes, you need to go to the Parabellum website and select the Army Builder. I'm going to do this on my phone to show you what to do. So you select the Army Builder, and it will give you the option of either Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, or Conquest, First Blood. Select Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, and of the 3 options there, you can see the one at the bottom that says Scan the Card. So we click on Scan Card. It asks me if I can access my camera. We get this basically image here, and then what we'll do is we come to the card, we scan it, and up pops the stats for the model that we are using, and it tells you everything that you need to know here. Nice and quick to use. However, if you want to prep before the game and have all of the stats at hand, it's really easy to go into the Army Builder and just print off the stats that you need for the army you've built. So Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, 2-player starter set. This has been my unboxing. I still think they're boring as hell, but you know what? I just wanted you to see what was inside them, as it's something that you might see online, might be curious of, but may not have seen what you actually get inside the box for your money. Let me know what you think. Is it something that you've been interested in? Are you a little bit wiser now that you've seen exactly what you get inside? Are you already playing Conquest and you just want some more content about it? Let me know down in the comments and I'll see what I can do. I've been Andy, this has been BlackJack Legacy. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you in the next video.